The Earth may be full of great events, but today, there is only one great event: continuous earthquakes that last for a whole year. What will life look like under these disturbing circumstances? How will buildings be maintained in this atmosphere? What can you do to adapt to this turbulent lifestyle? Here is the what if channel in this. What will happen if an earthquake continues for a year? The Earth's tectonic plates move constantly, and as they quake, such earthquakes can occur at any time, and if this happens all the time, it will be the ultimate test of its resilience. Many buildings, while buildings may be good at dealing with vertical forces resulting from weight and gravity, are not well equipped to deal with the ever-differentiated forces of earthquakes using many innovative structures and materials such as flexible foundations, a shock absorption mechanism, and a shape memory mixture, which is a new form of the smart material that has superior mechanical properties, is not available in all materials and alloys that are commonly used in engineering and other applications, as these alloys are characterized by their ability to restore their original shape when dirty. But under these harsh conditions, will the only safe place for you be in the middle of the field? On average, there are 20,000 earthquakes every year. If one happened near you, how would you feel? Well, this depends on how close you are to the epicenter of the earthquake. In a nearby place, you will experience a sudden large earthquake, followed by a strong shaking. This earthquake will last from 10 to 30 seconds, even in the most severe earthquakes. Power. The vibration does not last more than a few minutes, but in this scenario, the vibration will not stop. And instead of 10 seconds, it will continue for a whole year, as it will be difficult to face all of this. It is likely that everything that is not fixed in a house will fall to the ground, and the violent vibration will move buildings on the foundations, which leads to severe damage to property. Even the most resilient buildings will face difficulty in withstanding continuous vibration, and the financial and human costs will be astronomical. If the earthquake continues, these costs will continue to rise, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, will be forced to flee their homes, and many will die. If you're lucky enough to be far from the epicenter, all of this will be less dramatic. Normally, you'll only feel a slight knock, but because the earthquake won't end for a while, you'll feel a constant sensation of rolling and shaking. Your senses will be in a constant state of conflict. Your eyes will see one thing while your muscles feel another, and your ears will feel something else. The internal environment is something completely different, and these mixed signals will confuse your mind and make you feel nauseous most of the time. Even if you do not usually suffer from motion sickness, you will feel disturbed and nauseous, and there will never be any rest. Exposure to a regular earthquake may put you in a state of extreme alertness and in a state of constant alert for the earthquake. Next, you can become depressed because your home is no longer safe. But living like this for an entire year will force you to rethink every aspect of your life. If earthquakes remain less than 1 on the Richter scale, you will probably never notice them in a small desert town called Anza. In the state of California, residents are exposed to small earthquakes almost every day, and often several times in a row. There were approximately 6,913 earthquakes between 2017 and 208, but they can still live their daily lives. But if the earthquakes are higher on the Richter scale, you will have to get used to constant noise pollution, and this will affect the body's response to stress and the quality of sleep. And in the long run, this may lead to heart disease or even a stroke. Life will be difficult, but it will not stop, and you will have to find some way to get used to earthquakes, just as many people in the Midwest of the United States have done, by adjusting their daily lifestyle to match the threat of hurricanes. The biggest challenge is to rethink how we design our buildings. There are already many innovative technologies that can strengthen these structures, but you have to be more creative. One of the innovative building materials that researchers can explore is spider silk, as this material hardens under pressure. And when more pressure is added to it, it expands near the point of collapse and hardens again. This is exactly how the spider web interacts with insects. The damage resulting from the collision is limited to the distance between the wires of the web, where the shock is greatly reduced, and thus the web remains intact. It may seem it is strange to imagine the buildings of the future being designed and built using spider webs, as they might be designed and built using spiders. But that is another story from What If.